Hello. Today we're going to demonstrate the power of conversational analytics and how to use this technology that doesn't just empower business users to perform their own data analytics and analysis, but really completely transforms the ability of leaders and decision makers to take action based on data trends and insights. In this demo, we're going to take on the persona of a marketing vice president at a regional bank. The VP is interested in exploring new ways in which he can increase deposits from the retail customers. So let's get started. Quickly orient you around the Snowflake Intelligence user interface. Logging into Snowflake Intelligence, you can see we're greeted with a chat interface. Along the left, we have the option to create a new chat, a list of agents, and then a history of recent chats. This is the new chat interface by default. And you can see down here, I've got basically a list of agents that are also viewable here. For this demo, we're just going to be focused on this banking demo agent. And then also you can see some sources here. Currently, we have a semantic model and also a function to send some email. Lastly, we have some predefined prompts that help users understand what they can do within this data set and this agent within the Snowflake Intelligence experience. Later on, we'll talk about what this Enable Research button does. But for now, let's just get started. First thing we're going to do is look at the overview of the customer portfolio. So quickly, I'm going to ask Snowflake Intelligence to show me customer base segmented by age groups and geographic regions. What you can see is the Snowflake agent intelligence using the agent to pick a model. It's then that large language model is then using tools, in this case text-to-SQL, to understand how to go get the data. So the large language model takes the user's prompt, understands what tools it has to use, and then engages with that text-to-SQL tool. In this case, it's Cortex Analyst, to go and query the data. It then comes back with answers to my question about the age groups and geographic regions, and it shows the age distribution, the geographic distribution, does a little bit of analysis on the concentration, shows me a nice table of those results, which I can kind of further explore here and sort by the different table headings if I wanted to. I could download this also as a CSV. And then it also creates a little bit of a chart here for me. Now, this chart isn't very useful, so let's actually explore this a little bit. So I'm going to go in here and change this from a bar chart to an area chart. And now we can see visually get a better understanding of the distribution of customers within a specific age group per location or per branch. Additionally, we can make this a little bit better by using this gear icon over here by sorting the geographic region ascending. And we can see that our San Jose branch has the most customers, and we can look at the distribution here of age groups. So really, within a few minutes, we've got a deep understanding of the volume of customers at a branch and the distribution of the age groups within those branches. Now let's try to do a little bit of a deeper analysis. I'm going to ask Snowflake Intelligence to summarize, let's say, the account balances or account balance and age correlation. So let's just see if there's a correlation between customer age and account balance. So what it's doing is breaking down my query, again, assessing what tools and data it has to go satisfy that query. And then we'll go query the database and appropriate tables to answer the question. We can always click on the Show Details button, and it will show us exactly what it is doing, including the SQL that it's written and is executing. And then in real time, you can see it populating next steps and the output. I'm going to go ahead and close this chart. And here we can see that there's a very low correlation between customer age and account balance. There's some, key insights here that there's low impact there, low correlations, relatively flat distribution. See a slight peak in the older demographics, but overall it's consistent. And here it's created a nice bar chart for us. Now, in the back end, what we did was we told this agent that Snowflake Intelligence is using to always produce a chart along with a data set or say it differently, anytime a data set is outputted as part of a query response, you should always try to produce a chart for better understanding and visual analytics of the data. All of those things are configurable. Let's then quickly now move on to some deeper behaviors around deposit trends. And I'm going to ask it to look at deposit trends by month and be very specific about how to order those trends. So in calendar order from January to December, sometimes you have to be very specific with these questions in order to get the output that you want. Great, so here comes the analysis. Basically seeing a strong performance in Q4, there's a spring peak in deposits, there's an early year dip that shows a low deposit behavior in January and February. Anyway, you get the idea. And now what you see here is a little bit of an analysis of why this trend might exist or why this pattern exists. And it says it's likely driven by bonus payments, tax planning, and holiday-related financial activities, which of course, given US consumer behavior at a bank, that makes perfect sense. Now let's move on quickly to show something, a metric that is more business facing and maybe more useful for a VP or VP trying to do some advanced analytics. So the question here will be, show me customer lifetime value rankings for different acquisition segments. Actually, I want to reword this. Show me customer lifetime value rankings for different customer segments. We're being a little bit vague. We're asking the model to figure out the customer segments as well as create the analysis of those segments to the transactions or the activities that result in value created for the bank. Now you can see the model is looking to see if their analysis should be done by demographic segments that include city, location, as well as gender. The response here is a list of individual customers that have the highest lifetime value, some geographic rankings about the cities with the highest average customer lifetime value. There's some value tier distribution, which is perfectly distributed, not surprising for demo data. And then really just telling you how it came up with this customer lifetime value number, so the methodology used. And then lastly, some business insights. So ultimately, as I mentioned, we're trying to create some strategy or a set of maybe initiatives to increase or improve deposits for retail customers. And we can simply ask the model to do just that. So what I'm going to do here is ask the model to create a comprehensive deposit growth strategy by combining churn risk analysis, cross-sell opportunities, branch performance gaps, and customer lifetime value, and show me the projected impact and ROI for each recommended action. And then I'm going to click on this Enable Research button. What this does is it tells the agent to use a deep research or what's known as a reasoning model, which will, instead of just having the agent look at the question, formulate a response, output the response, and kind of go back and forth in a very stepwise motion, this allows the agent to use a reasoning model, which is more adept at planning a task, performing multiple steps, aggregating the output of those steps, and then potentially reperforming actions to get a better result. So this will take much longer to process, but the results will be much richer and often more accurate and more valuable. What you'll notice here is that the response from the model is very verbose. It's doing a lot of quote unquote thinking. I've asked it to do a lot of work. So it's processing through each one of these requests, coming up with the best approach, validating that approach is working, and then continuing to churn through the request to satisfy the goal. The model did recognize that the demo we're using is synthetic, and that caused it a lot of headache, but it was able to adapt to our question and produce the goal that we asked it to, which is a deposit growth strategy. So you can see here, we've got the findings, total customers, average age, distribution, some churn risk analysis, customer lifetime value insights, et cetera. And then here are these recommendations as well as the ROI projections. So high-risk customers, premium product upgrades, geographic market optimization. I mean, really deep analysis and recommendations. Well, the great thing about this is if for some reason any of these are wrong, incorrect, or not appropriate, we can go ahead and tell Snowflake Intelligence that to modify or to improve the recommendations based on your specific or the customer's specific needs or business initiatives and priorities. So the last thing I'll do just to finish off the demo is I want to maybe get this via email. So I'm going to say, please email me a copy of this analysis. Now we've given Snowflake Intelligence a tool that functions as an email sending tool. And so it's going to go and figure out that it has that tool available, package up the analysis it provided, send that off to the tool, but it probably should ask me a couple of questions, such as my email address and maybe the subject line or something else. The email tool requires HTML. So Snowflake Intelligence understands that, and it's trying to generate proper HTML so that the email's formatted nicely for the user.